The shock over the untimely death of UK nurse of Indian origin, Jacintha Saldanha, who was caught in the so-called royal prank played by two Australian broadcasters, is setting in. Saldanha's nephew, who is a Mumbai resident, has demanded justice for his aunt and appealed to the Indian government to step in and go after the Australian broadcasters whose prank proved ultimately to have led to the nurse committing suicide. It is important to note here that the Australian broadcasters have been pulled off air, but that punishment doesn't seem to be commensurate with the magnitude of the tragedy that it led to. Now the question is if the Indian Embassy will take up the matter with the UK government and the Australian government so that Nurse Saldanha gets justice. Well, this is the latest controversy now that has erupted, a terrible tragedy which has occurred as a result perhaps of a prank played by two RJs of an Australian broadcasting agency. The nurse who took their hoax call and revealed information about William and Kate's pregnancy has apparently committed suicide, and her nephew now is seeking justice, asking the Indian Embassy to take up the matter.
It's a very unfortunate thing that a hospital got a prank call early in the morning and she was the only person to answer the call. It's a very unfortunate thing, and she answered the call, and I don't know what's the real situation. What was the cause of her suicide? Yeah, I personally think that Indian Embassy should focus on this issue and they should try to investigate what's really happened, and the Indian Embassy should try to get the real culprits.
Well, let me now go across to Headlines Today's Pratibha Raman, who is tracking this story for us. Pratibha, a real tragedy, the death of Nurse Saldanha. At the moment, it is being treated as an unexplained death. However, it seems that her immediate family seems to believe it is suicide. What do they want, really, the UK government to do?
It is very tragical because in fact, she was planning that she would come back this time for Christmas, and the whole family was waiting her arrival for this Christmas, and to think that she is no longer going to be there for this Christmas is something we really cannot digest. That is the kind of situation that the whole family is in. In fact, we did speak with one of the relatives, and she was saying that they had absolutely no clue. So the idea is the government to find out the whole reason for this, the explanation for death is something that the family has the right to know, and that is what they really want to find out, because this whole sudden death and the fact that it's a distance away that he died, and they really cannot do anything about it. They're feeling so helpless about it, and this is what they want the government to think right now and take some kind of action against it.
All right, Pratibha, thank you for joining us with that update. Let's in fact go back and listen in to what Nurse Saldanha's nephew had to say about this tragic incident.
A hospital got a prank call early in the morning and she was the only person to answer the call. It's a very unfortunate thing, and she answered the call, and I don't know what's the real situation. What was the cause of her suicide? Yeah, I personally think that Indian Embassy should focus on this issue and they should try to investigate what's really happened, and the Indian Embassy should try to get the real culprits.